continue. I'm trying to make these videos 32 minutes. If you think that it should be shorter, let me know. Because I know it could be a tough thing to have to sit there and listen to a boring artist for that long. Like, oh my God, how much longer? Let's start to work this nose in a little bit. Okay. This section sits underneath, so there's no light hitting under there. So this is your shadow plane underneath your nose. So you have to remember to kind of put it in shadow. By doing that, this most protruding part, it'll come forward. And therefore, it'll make it look much more realistic. Okay, I need to make sure that I check the space here. From here to here. I still haven't gone in. I'm gonna move. It looks like the eye needs to be moved some. So in a bit, I will move that eye. The nose is a blood area. So I'll push some warm tones in that area. This is your blood area right here. Ear, cheeks, nose, ear. Oh, okay. So I'll go back and then I'll put some making corrections where I need to make corrections. Oh boy. Exploring. So I'll lose the drawing for a little bit, or the painting, because I'm after sculpting now. And so with every painting I do, there's a period where I do lose the actual likeness. I'll lose it. But it's because I'm thinking of the whole, and then I'm also thinking of the drawing. You know, so I'm correcting things. I'm exploring, and then I'm correcting things as I go. I'm correcting my drawing as I go. Correcting drawing value. Not too concerned with color at this point, because I'm trying to figure out what the heck it is I'm doing. I just put these in here. Sometimes they stay, sometimes they don't. Just as mapping points. I got this little stadium right here in my head. This little goalpost, huh? So, step back a little bit, take a look at it. I'll, I'll probably end up with about, I don't know how many layers on here. It'd be a lot of layers. I'm gonna put this right here, just as a mapping point. This will help to guide me with this, with the nose. Let's get rid of that. I could restate that later. God, I'm making myself look so handsome on here. Okay, what's going on there? This is part of a side plane, right? So I have to put it as a side plane. Photo has it sort of flat at this point, but I don't want it necessarily to go by that total. Okay. Nah, that's wrong. Knock this glare out a little bit. I'm just knocking the glare down a little bit. Plus, sometimes knocking this down will also help with the edges. You could use a fan brush as well. I just like buying these mop brushes and use those. It's just a watercolor mop brush, that's all. So if I feel like the nose is correct, maybe the eyes right here. Reason why I put that in, because I want to attempt with a little burnt umber and a little bit of alizarin crimson. Sorry about that. Let's expand the mouth a little bit. Oh, that looked like me right away. That looked like me right away, that expansion there. Okay. Okay. Wow. Just that little expansion. Well, it feels like it to me. It made me look, it made it look like me just a little bit more. Okay, let's, I'm gonna go back with a small brush and really pinpoint that nose just a bit more. Look at that, wow. See, it's looking like me a little bit, just a little bit more, huh? I know right here, I'm gonna carve into that so I can, I'm gonna use some of this shirt to carve into that. But I'll hold off on that just a bit. I'm not going with the darkest value on the beard, or am I going with the lightest? I'm taking my time to see, okay, you know, I also dip into some of a skin tone and add it in there. If you look at my other video, the Mary McLeod Bethune video, you know, she has a lot of beautiful gray hair. And so I'm talking about the different colors in her, the different grays in her hair, as well as the different whites that are in her blouse that she has on. You know, just the different colors. They're not just black and white. You know, I put skin tones in there. I put all kind of stuff. I work off the palette sometimes, you know, and that seems to help some. Working off the palette, so. Not my lightest colors. Remember, you save your lightest colors, your darkest dark, and your lightest lights for later on. You don't have to put them in right now. You could save them. Work off. I was taught to work off the middle, so I try to stay within the middle as long as I can, and work form. Now I know that underneath that goatee, I will have some of that light, some of the light that's reflecting off of his shirt into that area, like underneath here, but it needs to be darker. So I'll go just a little darker. So as I'm thinking, as I'm painting, I'm thinking as things turn. This is turning underneath because I'm feeling it right now. So if I make it real bright down here, it's gonna pop forward. I don't want it to pop forward. So I'll make it darker underneath. You know, just dipping into just about anything down here that would help me make a decent gray or a darker color. If it's in there, you know, can I move it somewhere else? Dipping into the burnt umber, putting a little bit of the skin tone that I mix. Into this gray beard, taking it down some. Because I may have started just a little bit too light, so I'll take it down. I'm just taking skin tone or whatever I have on the palette. Just remember, if you paint yourself, if you're a lady, if you're a man, make yourself handsome. If you're a lady, make yourself beautiful. Don't let nobody tell you you can't do that. You can. No, I'll put in the way I look. I'm just teasing you guys. I'm just teasing. I don't want you all to think I have a problem, you know, with myself. Man, he hates himself. That's not true. It's to indicate where I think the glasses are. I think I do have myself on this way, leaning over there just a little bit. That's perfect. So, okay. So I'm painting with what is called a full brush. I am not using any medium, and I'm trying to get the surface to be just a little bit thicker, you know, because I am looking for surface quality. I don't want to be thin. Sometimes, to break up some of that glare too, you turn your brush sideways and you do like a hatching, cross hatching. So I'm going against the grain there. I'm going against the paint strokes that I already have down. Let's just put all this back. Okay. I need a little bit more space on this side. I think that looks good. Let me put something over here to help to just think about, guide me through. If that's the ear. Sort of carve that section out just a bit. I mean, I'll go over it multiple times, so, but I just want to draw that section in. Knock down some of these. Also, if you get those little, but now my mentor, he's always got on me about these little, he called them little goobers. It's the little pieces of dried paint that get on your canvas and sort of disrupts what you're trying to do. Okay, let's go back to the eyes. That's just the beginning of the glasses. Let's do some with the ear. The ear is a part of the blood area. I'm going to dip into some Cad Red Light and some Cad Red Deep and some crimson and a little bit of burnt sienna. I'm going to go just a little bit darker than what I'm actually wanting to go, like this dark. I try to get the ear in as simple of a form as I can. So in class, I'm constantly trying to figure out, when I'm painting from a model and outside of class, how can I make this much more simple? And so you ask, why do you do that? Because the ear is on a receding plane, both ears, right? If I give it too much, it's going to come forward, it's going to compete with the actual things that are coming forward. So I try to simplify the ear, and sometimes it's that sometimes I overdo it, and then I have to do that add and subtract thing that I mentioned earlier. Sometimes I have to go back and take a bunch of it out. So let's do something to the lips now. Okay. The lips. I mean, there's a combination of colors that I like to use, but I think in terms of its local color, which is from me, I use sometime burnt umber mixed with crimson, and I'll mix a gray or a violet with it because as an African American man, our lips take on this sort of dark violet kind of color. So that's the base color that I'll start with, and then I'll move around from there. The lips, if I'm looking at the planes of the head, I always break it into thirds. So I have two side planes, and then I have a middle plane. So that's the way I try to keep it simplistic. Are there other things going on? You bet. There's a lot of stuff that's going on in there. You're just picking, you just want to have it simplified first so you get a better understanding of planes. So I try to simplify it. Mixing some violet to add in there. Just using some alizarin crimson mixed with some ultramarine blue, and just pushing it in there. I'm gonna make the lips fairly grayed out at this point, and I will increase the values later. This is what I like about the iPad. You can pull it up like that. That's what I like about the iPad. Off that zygomatic bone. That's what that is. This particular look, my father used to look like this. So the older you get, you know, you don't realize it, but you look more and more like your parent as you get older. And be like, man, I sure look like my dad here. As my son gets older, as he's getting older, people are starting to tell him that he looks like me. But I think he's much more handsome than I am. Thinking about the muscle of the mouth in here, this foundation here. I think I'm pretty close there. That's not bad. Where was I? On the lips. On the lips. Sorry about that. I bounce around. I know. Sometimes it's good to do, sometimes it's not good. But I think you to get the whole. I was taught by my mentor to bring the whole painting up as a unit and not just as this, this piece by piece. So I can't help but move around. That's the way I was taught. Work on the whole rather than the sum of its parts. So those are just drawing lines for me there. They won't stay. At least they'll be softened into the whole thing.